the explosion is here today. Unplugged with the Shark. And I just got to say right off the bat, I'm here with the one, the only, Mr. Fink is in the house. Brian Fink, what's up, brother?
Shark, thank you so much for letting me be on the program today. Connect with you, connect with your audience, help people go from better to best. What's going on today? Man, it is crazy town. For those of you who are questioning whether or not there's a September surge, I don't care about the rate cut. I don't think that's going to influence it, but I'm feeling the pressure. I'm noticing more jobs. I'm seeing more people get hired. I'm talking to more people who are asking me, Brian, can you help me with interview prep? I am excited to be here with you and to lead the surge in this middle week of September.
And you know what? And I got to say the surge, it's electrifying, just like his hair. Look, the hair is electrifying, and so is everything else going on around us, man. I tell you what, Brian, us two together, man, with this energy, man, I don't know. LinkedIn might just blow up after this show's over. You know that, man. Boom.
It's coming to an end. It's coming to an end, right? We're all going to what is that? There's a new platform out there that's been trying to grab my attention about introductions, right? And I'm wondering if they're going to pivot to be a more deliberate LinkedIn without such a broad cavalcade of individuals that are included in the conversation. Like when you think about GitHub is a great place to go for developers, but you probably don't want to go there for salespeople. Dev2 is a great place for developers. It's a merger between Medium and GitHub, where I mentioned Medium. Medium's a great place to go if you want to find product leaders or people who are entrepreneurs or speaking in the space. A lot of different places you can go. Also, Richard, I hope you don't mind, when we're talking about secret places to go to find talent, our friend Benjamin Mena is hosting an event next week. You want to be there. You want to be a part of it. You want to be part of preparing for 2025. Because we are going to go deep into some talent pools. We're going to talk about some places where people are not going and where you can build connection and turn those connections into placements very quickly.
Brother, I love it, man. I can't wait. I'm speaking the first day, man, about influencers, because being an influencer in 2025, we'll talk about that some other time. That's the way to go, man, down the road. I mean, it's here.
Well, we can talk about, so we said we were going to talk about talent mapping.
Yeah.
I think that being an influencer is critical when you map talent, okay? Is that mapping talent is really going after in a proactive capacity instead of a reactive capacity for that talent, for those individuals who are going to move your organization or move the organizations you're trying to staff for. If you are a beacon, if you are a lighthouse, if you are a shining star in the night sky, you will have people's attention. And when you reach out to them, they will know who you are, what you are about, and they will have already made a judgment call on whether or not you have the viability to take them from where they are at this level to their next level. And Richard, we talk about this, is that you and I are all about taking people from better to best, moving organizations from good to great. You got to be a beacon in 2025. You have to be a beacon.
You know it, buddy. And it's all about them, not us. I keep saying that over time. It's about them. Make them special. Make them shine.
So it is about making them shine. One thing that I want to be critical about is that there's the 80-20 rule in being an influencer. 80% of the time, you have to give, right? Like you're doing right here. You're providing immense value. Don't be afraid that 20% of that time, that 1 out of 5, that you say, hey, I wrote a book. It's called Talk Tech to Me. If you'd buy it or leave a review on Amazon, that'd be great. I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to do that. I know that people say they feel uncomfortable about selling. Great. Feel uncomfortable about selling. Get uncomfortable. Don't feel uncomfortable about giving freely. Don't be uncomfortable about that.
There you go. So, all right, real quick. Subscribe to the YouTube channel right below. Staffing Shark. There it is. There's my 20%.
Absolutely, right? And you know, we have to do that. And I think that, Richard, that when people subscribe to your channel, they're not only subscribing to your channel physically and metaphysically, they're actually activating their curiosity, right? I articulate this. I'll be talking about this at Talent Acquisition Week in February in San Diego. I hope people can make it there. Nice. But there are 4 elements that a recruiter has to index on, okay? It's curiosity, it's empathy, it's tenacity, and it's mischievousness, okay? And when you put those 4 elements together, you can be 4, not 5. you put well, I guess maybe that's you, is that when you put those
Mhm.
four together, you can really over index and extend yourself further than you ever thought you could go.
I love how you said that. And curiosity's everywhere. I mean, I got to take it back to like even Netflix. Why do we watch a movie with our family? We're curious of what the trailer is, and after that, isn't it the same psychological way with everything we do in life?
It is, but it's not that way for all people, right?
Yes.
Like shout out to my mom. Mom, if you're watching on Facebook, I'm talking about you. Is that my mother encouraged me to be curious at all times. She told me, Brian, if you can be curious, you can go anywhere you want in the world. Now, as a 5-year-old, I didn't know what that meant. As a 10-year-old, I started to realize that means that I could go beyond the neighborhood in Southwest Georgia, that I could go beyond my foundations in Southwest Georgia, that I could go to Atlanta, that I could go to Athens, Georgia, that I could go live in Brussels, Belgium, that I could travel to South Africa, all these places because my mother ignited curiosity in me. And as recruiters, we have to be curious enough to ask those deep questions of our candidates. It's not just simply enough to know, do you know Python? What did you do with Python? When have you failed in an opportunity where you were supposed to use Python? Why did you choose to use Python instead of something else? I think about it in kind of the Toyota mindset about agile development and using the 5 whys to go deep in that conversation and truly understand your candidate and their motivation, right? I would be remiss if I didn't think of Betsy Robinson and her team at Tier 4 Group, is that they train heavily on making sure they understand the candidate's motivation so they can take that person from the place that they're at today to the place they want to be at tomorrow and really help them hockey stick and index in that direction.
Man, that is deep stuff. And you know what? It's funny because you just said it. You're taking people from one element to another element, almost like a 3D, like just take them into another environment that they might never had.
So I make the joke about 4D chess and chess, not chest, 4D chess.
Yeah.
That would be embarrassing. 4D chess.
Did you just say that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
we're not going down that rabbit hole today, Fink. Not today.
No, all right. So the reality of it is that like I think about that chessboard that is in Star Trek: The Next Generation, where you're playing boards on different levels. There's something about being content in what you do, and I can respect that. But Richard, like you and I, we go out there every day, and like we're not trying to, I'm speaking for you. You can tell me I'm wrong, okay? But I don't think that you're trying. I don't think you're trying to go out there every day to score the biggest fee you can score. I think that you're going out there every single day to do something that you haven't done. That you're playing an infinite game. I know with me, I want to work on new roles. Why do I want to work on a new role? Because I get to expand my skill set. I get to do something I've never done before. I want to work on roles that I previously filled. Why? Because I can find out why that candidate was successful, why we promoted them, or why that individual exited the organization, and how I can make the organization and the next individual who comes into that role that much better. That 1%, that atomic habit, if you will.
You know what? That's that spark. If I go to the gym or anything, it's that spark every day of trying something new. If it's putting your shoes on right instead of the left, that's a spark,
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm a big Orange Theory advocate, right? Like it's never the same workout twice. Shout out to Nixie and the team at Orange Theory. I appreciate you guys. You've helped me lose 14 pounds in about 3 months.
Good for you. You know what? I'm a personal trainer on the side when I have time. Dude, good for you, brother.
Yeah. So I'm knocking that down. Well, look, we talk about putting obstacles in front of ourselves so that we can overcome those obstacles. It's more than just putting the obstacle there. It's running through that brick wall. It's telling yourself mentally, you can do this thing. Like for instance, November 14th, 2024, I'm signing up for the fall series of a 29029. I have that date programmed on my head. It didn't just flash up on the calendar. I'm going to be there. It's going to be me. It's going to be Jesse Itzler. It's going to be a lot of people climbing a mountain 34 times up and down to simulate the ascent of running up and down Mount Everest. Who wants to run up and down Mount Everest? I am not in that physical condition to do that, but I'm in the mental state of my life, the best mental state of my life, to be able to take on that kind of challenge. And yeah, so let's challenge. We're live.
Dude, I love that. And I'm going to just wrap it up like this. Me and you have fulfillment at the end of the day. I think that's the biggest thing. If you have fulfillment when you go to bed, that means you had success that day.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter if it's one offer, if it's one conversation, if it's one submittal, it is those incremental components that really make up a life, right? We think about the big moments, right? Like a 75th birthday or a 50th wedding anniversary. Those are big moments. I'm not taking anything away from that milestone, but they're incremental little things that you have to do to make it to 75. They're incremental little things you have to do to make a marriage work to hit 50 years. They're little incremental things you have to do to put that weight on that bar and to hoist it above your head.
The hoist. Okay, so can I lead into that? The hoist. You guys think
Go
talent
for it.
mapping? Wait till you see
Oh,
what's going on
dude.
here,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I tell you what, you thought the Goonies map was good? You haven't seen nothing from Fink yet. The talent mapping, he's going to give you success today. We'll get you that buried treasure. I guarantee it, man.
All right, so let's talk about talent mapping. We
Do
live
it.
in an economy where a lot of recruiters are focused on inbox recruiting. And if you focus on inbox recruiting, you're probably going to get 2 or 3 really good candidates that stand out, but you can't necessarily guarantee that those are the individuals that are going to be the ones that are going to be that placement, that are going to be that all-star. So we know that there's a lot of attention on passive talent. Well, if you are sending out 100 LinkedIn messages a day, and I know that people here are doing it, I've done it before too, you're only getting those people who are going to react to your message for what you're doing in the moment. We've got to go beyond the moment. And Shark, I talked with you about my Hot 100. So I have a list of 100 individuals that I'm in constant contact with. I reach out to 25 of them each Friday, and I send them a message. Hey, how was your week? What are you looking forward to this weekend? Are you ready for this football game? It's a personalized message, right? I know who my SEC fans are. I know who my Big Ten fans are. I know what they're. I've got an idea or semblance of what they're doing, right? But those 100 people, hiring managers say, "Can you keep the person warm like they're a piece of bread in a
I
convection
hate
oven?"
that. Time out. They're not a piece of meat, right? They're
No,
human.
they're not. They're not prime rib, right? Like we're not going to dribble some au jus on it and be like, "Yeah, let's go." Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm talking to those top 100 people and I'm having that conversation. I'm picking up the phone, I'm sending text messages, I'm reaching out to them in some fashion, 25 each Friday. And that equals 100 in a month. So that's my Hot 100. When I'm having the conversation with them, I'm asking them what's next. I'm taking notes on this. These are candidates that I've worked with for 5 or 6 years. And Richard, here's the reality. These individuals are going to say back to you, "Hey B, what are you working on?" "Well, I'm working on I'm working on a data science manager." That is what I'm working on. I'm going to be talking to some data scientists that I've worked with, that are different companies throughout the country, actually throughout the world. And they're going to ask me, "Hey B, what are you working on?" I'm going to say, "Look, I got this really hot role that I'm working on. I could use your advice." That is a very powerful 6-letter word. Shout out to my dad if he's listening. Okay. Ask
Yeah.
people for their advice. They want to be that consultant. They want to be your consigliere. They want to talk to you and give you insight into what's going on in the market. So if you've got your Hot 100, and my Hot 100 is a mixture of data scientists, data engineers, site reliability engineers, leadership, up and down the board, right? But we're having a conversation. We may only be talking for 15 or 20 minutes. I mean, look, everybody knows that my schedule on Friday is pretty wide open. Is that Friday morning, I'm talking to these candidates, these Hot 100.
Mhm.
I'm sending them text messages. I'm sending them DMs on Instagram. I'm sending them funny videos. I'm doing whatever I need to do to keep them in the ecosystem, that check-in, right? Friday afternoon is a little different. Friday afternoon, I party with recruiters. I have open office hours. If you've got a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while the DJ revolves it.
Woo! Dun, 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 dun. Kick it, man.
We will get together and we will talk about.
1991.
Hey, it was a great year. It was bar mitzvah year. So we will get together and we will solve those problems and we'll work on Boolean strings. But this idea of talent mapping, it's not a new concept. Okay. This is something that old school recruiters, and when you're in agency land, you're kind of taught to do, but you don't connect the dots. So, Shark, when people go and they have that intake session or that takeout session with the hiring manager, depending if they're a strategy advisor or if they're just getting a job order, we were taught to ask questions like, what are your target companies? Where do you want to recruit this person from? Why is that an important imperative question? That helps in talent mapping. That is Mr. Client telling you, I think that the best nurses work for Wellstar Healthcare System. It's not just one search, it's every search. It's using those tools. It's using. I give you a snap on this one. All right,
Let's do it,
because
man.
nobody's using this. U.com. Are you using YOU.com, Richard?
No, I'm not. YOU.com. Nope.
Okay, all right. So I've heard you and your audience talk about artificial intelligence. This is the artificial intelligence everybody is sleeping on. What it does is it brings together all the models, and you can ask a question and compare what the answer is across models, or you can say, I want to use Llama, right? I love Llama. I love using Facebook Inception, right? So for instance, if I go into my Instagram real quick, and that's what I'm doing on my phone, I'm going into Instagram and I'm pulling up the viewfinder, and what I'm doing is it says ask Meta search anything. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. It wants you to look for profiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if we said, tell me about Richard Rosner, and hit search? Well, look at that. It comes out with audio, it comes out with tags, it comes out with all these things. It does the inception work for us. But if we go to Llama on U.com and we say, hey, show me people that Richard is connected to on LinkedIn that are account managers in the greater Southwestern United States. I challenge all of you to do that and to see if it brings you back LinkedIn profiles. And if those LinkedIn profiles have footnotes that you can click on and then jump into LinkedIn, and that you can backdoor LinkedIn that way.
Wow.
So when I talk about talent mapping, I'm going to U.com, or I'm going to LinkedIn, or I'm going to Seek Out, and I'm typing in. Seek Out is a paid tool. U.com is free. LinkedIn can be free if you exercise it the way that I exercise it. And I am looking for people who are in those organizations. If I use Anthropic, right? And I'm going to be talking about this at SourceCon. If I use Anthropic and I say, bring me back account managers from the greater Southeast, it will send me candidate summaries with the profiles.
No way.
Dude.
Oh my God, this is magic. Like seriously, people search, I had to tell you, Fink, they search all day on LinkedIn, the old school way, LinkedIn Recruiter, that's great. But this avenue, I'm going to tell you, is like a supercharge. Am I right or not? I mean, this is getting you what you need right then.
Dude, this is
seriously, the old way. I mean, I love this information, right? I hope everybody's writing this down. Get your paper and pen out, because Fink's giving you some great stuff here, man. This is incredible.
All right, so wait, hold on one second. So just real quick, I'm gonna share screen, right?
Yeah,
because this is a thing. Share
keep
screen.
Keep it clean, Brian.
I am. All right. So real quick, this is me using U.com for free. And I have said site command LinkedIn.com, Verizon, or Salesforce account manager. I did this while we were talking. Okay.
Yeah.
There's the Get Pro button. I'm not getting pro. I'm using free. If you know me, my favorite 4-letter word that begins with an F is free. Get out of here. I know what you were thinking it was, but it's free. We've got Samuel Strum. He has 11 years of communications and IT experience. He's focused on client success. If I click on that one, it takes me to his profile. Okay. I'm using Llama in the background. I'm using the large language model that Facebook puts out there for free. I've got Melissa. Melissa leads the credit governance practice across Wireline Verizon Business Group for investment groups. You see that we've got we've got a teaser, we got a small taste, right? Like, of these people and who they are. Do we want to do another example? Because I can use ChatGPT 4.0, which just came out with the same string. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, man, go for it.
It's going to bring me back. And again, I'm talking about all this at SourceCon. It's going to bring me back a completely different set of results.
Oh, look at that.
There we go. And it's going to let me know what these people's responsibilities are if they work for Verizon. It's going to take what was in the job description and fuse it and put it live into our search, so that when we are talking to Omar Hussein, who's a senior account manager who leads LTE connections and VoIP services, we know that we're going to talk to him and say, can you tell me about a time that you led strategic development? Why are we going to talk to him about that? Because we know that that's one of the qualities, one of the key responsibilities and skills in skills-based hiring that we need to have a conversation with Omar about. It's doing it. Look, we talked about the human connection in AI, and I know we were going to talk about talent mapping, but like Richard, why wouldn't I have a little companion sitting on my shoulder saying, hey, you should ask Shannon about the cutting edge technologies that she or he, I don't know, I'm just guessing, and that was wrong, that they use when they're elevating businesses. Oh, can you tell me about, right here we have account managers such as Omar Hussein and Shannon Morgan focus on leveraging the latest 5G and 4G technologies to meet customer needs and drive business growth. Why wouldn't I talk to both of them about that?
Yeah, why not?
I never had to access the LinkedIn profile, and that's using ChatGPT 4.0. Again, I'm not paying for it. Should we go one more? Should we go one more place?
Let's do one more. Come on. I mean,
all right.
This is information people would love.
All right. So I'm going to click on the more section. Okay.
Gotcha.
And I'm just going to access Claude's most advanced model, and I'm going to drop that in there. Okay, so it's telling me what the role overview is and what the responsibilities are. It didn't, I just did it at random. It doesn't tell me specifically who I should be talking to, but it does tell me about their soft skills and the hard skills that they need to have to be successful at this role, which I could use when talent mapping and discern, do I really need somebody who's a strong communicator? Yes, well, then I want to go talk to people who are at Verizon. Do I need to speak to people who have experience with small business or enterprise? I need to talk to people who have experience with enterprise. Well, then this candidate or these candidates from Verizon are not a fit because they work in the SMB space. I should be looking at people from Salesforce. Is that all helpful? I mean, that is the jam. That is what we
hell yeah, man. This is great, man. You want to show anything else? Are you good on that, brother? You good?
Well, I mean, so the way that I'm doing talent mapping is I'm putting together a list of 10 to 15 companies.
Okay.
I'm trying to find individuals that work at those 10 to 15 companies. I'm not obsessed with educational requirements. Like, I think that they're a hangover, so to speak. I think that they're a symbol of systemic racism, that we have schools that engage in those types of practices. And I think that you should be looking at the skill that somebody has as opposed to looking at whether or not they have a 4-year degree in political science from the University of Georgia. Shout out UGA, shout out to the SEC. I was going to get it in, Richard.
All right, Brian, this show's over after that,
man. This show's over.
I'm a Big Ten, bro. Big Ten all the way.
So wait, let's talk about the Big Ten for just a quick second. Richard, who's going to win the matchup between USC and Penn State? It's October 12th. I can't go to the game. I want to go to the game. Anessa Fike has invited me to the game. I can't go. Who's going to win this game? Let's leave the people with that.
Of course, I'm going with my alumni. I mean, Penn State, I think, is going to pull it off. I mean, come on. It's my alumni. I mean, I'm down here in West Virginia. I'm here at the Pat McAfee show, around 5,000 crazy Mountaineers, and we crushed them. I think it's going to be an upset. I'm a West Coast teams. I think that they're a little soft. I'm going to be honest with you. We Northern teams are rocking, man. It's defense, and I think we'll be good.
All right, so I got 2 things in my office I want to show you.
Let's do it, man.
2 things. One is that great big Georgia G on the wall.
Ooh.
Okay, but right here is a Nittany.
We are.
Okay, because in this house, My wife went to Penn State. We are very involved in the Thon charity and making sure that childhood cancer is eradicated.
Yes.
You know, hey, we talked about this. 80% give, 20% ask. Richard, I'm asking your audience today that if they've ever been affected by childhood cancer or they know somebody's been affected, go on to thon.com and make a small donation for the time that we put together here today. Is that fair? Can I do that?
That
I
is
just
that
did
is
it.
fair. And you know, with the Thon, you know, what they do, all them hours and stuff they put in, it's amazing what they do and how much money they raise for a good cause.
Yeah. So hey man, what else do you want to cover today? What else do you want to jam
Dude,
on?
I just got to tell you about Georgia. Now, you know, I'm a fan of Georgia a little bit too. Back in the day, I was a Herschel Walker. I got his Sports Illustrated. Remember the one where he did a push up with his girlfriend on his back in 1982? I have that issue. I just got to tell you, and I know at the time, the Georgia Penn State game, one of the biggest upsets ever. Georgia was supposed to blow him out. You know that, right?
I do know that. So my wife and I talk about that. My wife and I talk about that quite regularly. Actually, today is for those of you who are going to watch this in perpetuity on the YouTube channel. Today is September 18th, which is the day that one of our dogs, Minnie, was born. Right, and Minnie was a dog fan. I am convinced of it. Right. Is that when Penn State played Georgia a few years ago, Minnie came and sat down on the Georgia blanket, and I told my wife, she's not sitting on the Penn State blanket. We're going to win today. So,
and it happened.
So and it happened, right? So I appreciate everybody letting me part with a story about Minnie, my Bichon or Allie's Bichon Frise. I got it in the marriage. So that's a good place to be. Richard, thanks for making this a good place to be. If anybody wants to connect with me and get on my Friday schedule, I encourage you to reach out over LinkedIn. Richard, what else do you want me to do?
Brother, I mean, you know what? I mean, I love what we talked about a little bit here. Okay, so talent mapping, getting back to this real quick is there's people that might say, okay, Brian, this is all great. Where do I start at? Because a lot of people are confused. You know that. There's so many things coming their way. Can you break it down real quick for maybe a couple minutes here, like the 2-minute drill of how do they start this? How do they benefit from this? I mean, you know, we got some of the stuff now, u.com and stuff. Where do they start? Let's just start right there.
Start with a list of 10 companies that you want to target. Then cut that list down to 3. Okay. I know I said 10, and we all have a top 10, but focus on the 3 that are the most important, that are the most critical on you researching, understanding how they work, how they hire, so that you can go strong against them. Okay. If you want to think about it, it's like building a battle card. All right. So like when I was at AWS, we went hard against Facebook. We went real hard against Facebook or Meta or whatever they want to call themselves today. Right. I would put on that list people who left Meta, who went to start at another company. And that was my 1, 2, 3. And then the other 7, well, did you show up in the search? They show up in the search. But you want to focus on those 3 and you want to know everything about them. You want to go into Google. If you're a Gmail user, you want to go into Google Alerts and you want to set an alert for the word Meta. So anytime it shows up in a press release, you know about it. If they're doing a layoff, you know about it the minute it hits the ether, the minute it hits that blotter. All right. You want to then go into that organization and you say, hey, look, I work on data science roles. Who are the top 10 data scientists at Meta? And you want to break that top 10. You want to say, these 3 are somewhere in a leadership capacity. These 3 are an emerging leadership capacity. And these 3, they're really doing some dangerous shit. All right. And you want to break it down like that. If you'll take those steps and try to connect with these individuals, like I mentioned Jesse Itzler and the 29029 and that race that's coming up on November 14th, 2025, right? Or the registration that's coming up on the 14th of 2024 for 2025. Jesse Itzler talks about this, and this is kind of where I took the concept from several years ago and started applying it to talent acquisition. If you will go there and get on those people's radar, if you will send them a connection request, if you will follow them on GitHub, and I'm a technical recruiter. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit nuanced, right? But if you'll fall, like if you are hiring doctors and physicians, are you following them on ZocDoc? Are you logged in to Yelp? Do you have those restaurants that you frequent logged into OpenTable? Do you know this? And I know you're saying, Brian, it sounds like a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but it makes the dominoes fall that much faster, that much easier. And instead of them falling hard, they fall soft and evenly, and they're distributed amongst that route.
I love what you said there. And Yelp too, real quick. Yelp for hospitality. People are not on Yelp. Should recruiters be on all these different platforms? Let's break it down real quick before we wrap up on platforms. I think everybody lives on LinkedIn, and that's it, Brian. Tell them there's so much more besides that.
Okay, so there's this guy. We'll call him Glenn Cathy. Okay,
here we go.
Glenn Cathy he's the Bullion black belt. He's the best of the best. Okay, I wanted, look, 10 years ago, I wanted to meet Glenn Cathy. Today, I want to be Glenn Cathy. I want to drive that Nismo that he has. Yes, this is all I know about Glenn Cathy, right? And I got to spend some time with Glenn last week at RadFest. The reality of it is that I had the opportunity to talk to Glenn one time, and I said, what should I do about all these different platforms? And he said, know 3 things better than anybody else. Know them inside and out. You look at Joel Alge. Joel knows TikTok inside and out. And when we get together, I show him things that he can do on TikTok. He shows me things I can do on TikTok. I'm not recruiting anybody on TikTok. My number one source of hire is looking for resumes on Google. Wait, you want to see this real quick? Do we have enough time to do this?
Brother, we're unlimited, man. I got no watches on, man.
Okay,
I don't have to be at the gym till 7 o'clock, so we're good, man. Jimmy Buffett time. Let's do it, man.
Jimmy Buffett time. All right, so
brother, hell yeah. Anything we can learn from, Brian? Yeah, this shows there's no time limit. Let's do this.
So real quick.
Let me know when you want me to share, brother, right now.
Share it.
All right.
So I like to type in file type :PDF. And as you noticed, it's already started to come up with results because this is what I do all the time, right? I'm going to type in the word resume. Okay. Hey, Richard, what's the search you're working on right now?
Electrical engineers.
Okay, great. Electrical engineer. And you told me that so we're going to look for somebody who went to Penn State, or somebody who has on their resume that they went to the university, Penn State, Pennsylvania, I'm misspelling it, Pennsylvania State University. Okay, and that they've got those words on their resume. And I'm just going to say that they live in Austin. Well, look at that. We have all these people who went to Penn State University who have a resume available, right? Richard Fair, who's at Duke now, right? He's an outstanding young electrical engineer of the year, and he graduated from Penn State University. Let's open that up. There's Richard's resume. So I don't know if you would call him, because he's in North Carolina, not Austin, Texas. But I don't know if you would call him, but he clearly is an electrical engineer, right? Can you see this, the resume that I opened, or is it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got that, right? So when I'm looking for engineers, I'm typing in K8 for Kubernetes or Kubernetes. And I'm going to type in Terraform. And I'm going to say that I want them to have gone to MIT. There's Kimberly Zong, who went to MIT, senior engineering manager. Let's open her up. There we go. She had a 5.0 at MIT.
5.0. Come on. Super genius.
Dude.
This is the Doogie Howser.
She's worked at Greylock. She's worked at Kleiner Perkins, Caulfield Bayer. She has taught classes. She is technologies in C++. I may or may not have a role for you, Kimberly, if you're listening. But the reality of it is that there's so much free information available online that sometimes it blows my mind that people are paying for all these tools.
This is amazing. Real quick, Brian, a lot of people go on Indeed and they say they can't get these high-end people because they're not on Indeed. Look what you're doing here on Google. This is amazing.
So real quick, going back to two things I want to touch on is that Glenn Cathy said, know 3 tools better than anybody else. I think I know Boolean better than 90% of the people out there. Okay. I think I know LinkedIn better than 90% of the people out there. I think I know how to recruit on Instagram better than 90% of the people that are out there. Those are my order of hire. Okay. And then if you want to know how to do this, you got to come to Ben's event next week. It's a free event. Richard's going to be there. I'm going to be there. You're going to have people who you're going to have Rich Rosen. You're going to have people like Steve Levy. You're going to have a ton of people that are going to be in the room. And the only thing they want to do is help you make more placements, whether you're an internal recruiter like I am, or whether you're an external benefactor like Richard is. So, hey man,
it's virtual, it's free. And I mean, it's going to be so much. I mean, I tell you what, every time Ben puts a show on, and I'm good friends with Ben, man, it's the cream of the crop people, you know, I'm just honored to be part of it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you take a little bit, take 10% of it, you'll have a better game, you know, at the industry.
You will have a better game. And again, I want to go back to that 80-20 rule that we talked about.
Yeah.
80% of the placements are made by the top 20 recruiters. How are you going to go from the bottom 80 to the top 20? You attend Ben's event. You need to be there. I got pitchy. I didn't mean to get pitchy.
No, I love it. I got to tell you, I'm going to put you on a spot. Can you come back and do a couple of different shows, one on Instagram, one on LinkedIn? I would love to have you on there to teach people how to source and recruit on there because they're clueless. Seriously.
I will be absolutely thrilled to do that and to be a part of your community. Thanks for making me part of it today. I really appreciate you. And I look forward to our next time when we're able to change minds, change people, and take them from better to best.
It is. Okay, before we leave, I got to ask you, can you give me the Georgia Dog fight song real quick? Okay, show me the hat. I got to see the hat real quick. Look at this. It is the new custom Fink hat.
Yeah, it's my FinkedIn hat. I will be giving these out at SourceCon. If you want to go to SourceCon, talk to me. Let's figure out a way to get you there. There are lots of different ways. It's a month away. It's going to be in San Diego. It's going to be mind blowing. I mean, if
it's
you
in
like
San Diego. Hold on, that's where my brother lives in San Diego, by the beach. Oh my God, that could be the after party right there at his house.
Well, no, the after party. All right. Live karaoke.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about like live, like we're singing like there's going to be a band and they're going to play the song and you're going to lead the band.
So it's like American Idol.
Yeah. So, all right, sir.
That is so much. Okay, so at the end, I got to ask you, give me the dog song. Come on, I need to hear the Georgia Dog song.
How about we call the dogs instead? Because I'm not much of a singer.
All right, how's it go?
Go dogs. Stick them. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Now, that's 1. 2, everybody who knows me before a conference knows that I get pumped up, not by listening to Baba O'Reilly or listening to the Georgia fight song. Oh, Georgia Bulldogs. It's the words of Kirby Smart. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. It is time to attack the day. And I will leave you with that. Thanks, my friend.
That's it. We're out of here. All I can say is we are. Take care, my man.
Be well, sir. Bye.